marketing manager, Mr. Yunus Parak, another transactional banking consultant, Munira Khan, and our sustainability and social responsibility officer, Fatima Mohammed. We will be discussing the importance of budgeting and savings amongst the young adults. So let's start by saving time and getting started. Munira, can you kindly tell us saving in its broadest sense, please?
Sure, Ahmed. It starts by inculcating the culture of savings in one's lifestyle, with what we do in our daily lives, and importantly, without further effort. Just doing some basic saving habits.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you elaborate a bit further, please?
Conserving utilities, your electricity and water. Simple things like switching off your room lights when not being used, switching off your geyser when not being used, and unnecessary washing of clothes. By that I mean wearing your jeans twice or not washing an item after a few hours of wear. Checking for water leaks, which is very important. Taking shorter showers. Conserving fuel. The use of your GPS to take shorter trips. Eliminate unnecessary trips. And the use of carpooling for your place of work.
That's interesting. Some simple habits in your daily lifestyle can incur savings. I mean, the other things that come to mind for me would be doing your household chores and repairs yourself instead of calling out a handyman or a specialist plumber or the like. And then also being food smart, using a leftover chicken as a topping on a pizza sandwich or sticking it in between the sandwich as well. So what we can learn from this is that your daily lifestyle can instill saving habits in your daily life as well. This is good to bear in mind.
Obviously then, we have your direct money, financial savings.
So how would one go about this?
Set a monthly budget. My colleagues will be expounding further on budgeting in the next segment. Remember, your potential savings is the difference between your net income and your expenses. Allocate at least 10 to 20% of your net income for savings.
Interesting. I think young adults should also take note that it's important to develop a budget using your net income after taxes and deductions, and it's not your take-home pay. What are some of the reasons for saving, Munira?
Well, there are many to call out, but just a few salient ones. An emergency cushion. This could be a number of things. Your out-of-pocket medical expenses or a sudden loss of income. You will need money set aside for these emergencies to avoid going into debt to pay for your necessities. For retirement, if you intend to retire someday, you will probably need savings or an investment to take the place of the income you'll no longer get from your job. For kids' education, the costs for private and tertiary education are rising every year, and it's getting tougher to meet these demands.
I suppose with the advances in medicine and public health, people are now living longer and needing more money to get by in their old age. So saving for retirement is much more important these days. Can you give us some tips for savings?
Yes, saving your windfall income. That may be unexpected money such as your income tax return money or an inheritance. Collect your loose change and deposit it into a bank. Use a money box and deposit its contents when it's full. Practice frugality. Purchase cheaper off-brand items and save money. Let's break a habit. Try doing one less thing you expensive venture a week and apply that money to your savings. Save lunch money. Do not indulge in takeout or cafeteria food. Bring your own lunch to work and save.
Interesting again. I read something interesting about the 30-day rule regarding savings, where before you purchase an item, you put the funds into a 30-day investment or savings account, and after 30 days, you could really ponder about whether you want this item, and if you wanted it, then you go out and buy it, and then there's no regret. And what's more important is after 30 days of waiting, you would cherish the item much more as well. Any closing remarks, Munira?
In theory, saving money should be very easy. Spend less than you earn and save the rest.
suppose, and also make saving a habit in your lifestyle. Thank you, Munira. Fatima, very briefly, please explain to us what is budgeting.
So budgeting is the process of creating a plan to spend your money. This spending plan is called a budget. Creating the spending plan allows you to determine in advance whether you will have enough money to do the things you need to do or would like to do. Budgeting is balancing your expenses with your income. The purpose of a budget is to plan, organize, track, and improve your financial situation. In other words, from controlling your spending to consistently saving and investing a portion of your income. A budget helps to stay on course in pursuit of your long-term financial goals. The following steps can help you create a budget. Step 1. Note your net income. The first step is creating a budget is to identify the amount of money you have coming in. Step 2. Track your spending. Identify your expenses and commitments. Step 3. Set your goals as to what you want to achieve from your budget. For example, is it to save or is it to pay off a debt? Step 4. Make a plan of how you are going to achieve this goal. Step 5. Adjust your habits if necessary to meet the goal. Step 6. Keep checking in to see if you are on track and what is your financial position. What I mentioned is a simple overview of what budgeting is.
And what would be the importance of budgeting, Fatima?
So budgeting is important because it helps you to control your spending, track your expenses, and save more money. It can help you make better financial decisions, prepare for emergencies, get out of debt, and stay focused on your long-term financial goals. Budgeting keeps you organized. It is oftentimes that we experience unforeseen circumstances that can affect our financial position. Planning with a budget helps to keep track of the money we have on hand and allow us to save for incidences that may arise. It can also assist us to work towards a goal, for example, a deposit for a car or home. Essentially, it makes us more conscious in terms of our financial matters and serves as a guideline so that we live within our means. That's why budget is so important, and living on a budget is a fundamental component of proper financial management.
So now we have Mr. Yunus Parak, our marketing manager, and with his vast experience, he will enlighten us on the current economic situation in the world and how this demands budgeting. And, we all are not accounting savvy, so we would share some simple tools for budgeting. Over to you, Mr. Parak.
Thank you, Ahmed, and good afternoon. I think first of all, the catastrophic economic effects of the global corona pandemic has highlighted the need now more than ever before for careful personal financial management. In the face of the pandemic, I think we need to also understand that we have to undertake a financial rethink, given that business closures, retrenchments, short time, and temporarily reduced salaries have wreaked havoc. I think personal budgeting and making budget revisions are now of paramount importance in order to maintain a degree of financial wellness in the face of some of the toughest economic times in South Africa's history. In its simplest form, I would say that budgeting is the process of creating a plan to spend your money. The spending plan is called a budget. Creating the spending plan allows you to determine in advance whether you will have money to do the things you need to do or would like to do. Budgeting is simply balancing your expenses with your income. What are the budget tools? Well, budgeting tools, when it comes to tools, Ahmed, I think it's important to understand that budgeting tools itself won't cost you a dime and can help you track your finances. The most simplest of a budgeting tool is pen and paper. If one has to go back and look at times immemorial, you'll find that the pen and paper really did the job. So all you need to do, it's the most simple of all. Put in your expenses, put in your income, take your income from your expenses, vice versa, and of course you will get a result. The second thing is, in the olden days, I remember clearly when my folks, or sometimes my grand folks, used to have envelopes, and in there they used to slip in money for rent, electricity, for the school fees, for groceries, etc. So this made it also very simple and easy. Today, we have the opportunity of using spreadsheets for a highly customizable way to track income and expenses using a spreadsheet. People can download budgeting spreadsheets, templates that come formatted with formulas, dates and labels, etc. What about worksheets? Once again, with the advent of technology, we're seeing that for those making a budget for a first time, a worksheet can eliminate some of the guesswork. These papers typically have recommended percentages to indicate how much of your earnings should be spent. I think another important aspect before we, could go on is why is financial education, Ahmed, so important? The importance of being financially savvy cannot really be underestimated, especially against the backdrop, as I've said earlier, of a declining economy and the devastating effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. There is no doubt that financial literacy is essential to the growth and development of our nation. I think the low savings culture in South Africa and the failure to service debt, together with the decline in disposable income and the financial impact this has on the economy, makes it even more vital for us as a nation to make sound and informed financial decisions. So financial literacy for us is a very, very important concept.
Thank you, Mr. Parak, for sharing those tips with us. And interestingly, you say that the simplest of tools, which is a pen and a paper, to assist everybody with budgeting. So now if you could please enlighten the viewers on the positives of budgeting as well.
Thank you, Ahmed. I think that's an important question and something that I think we need to think and be disciplined about. First of all, budgeting firstly gives you control over your money. A budget is a way of being intentional about the way you spend and save your money. It is said that with budgeting, you control your money and not your money controls you. Budgeting saves you the stress of suddenly having to adjust to a lack of funds because you did not initially plan if you want to sacrifice short-term spending, like buying coffee every day in exchange for a long-term benefit, like a cruise vacation or a new HD TV. Secondly, a budget would keep you focused on your money goals. And I think that's important. You avoid spending unnecessarily on items and services that you do not contribute to attaining your financial goals. If you are working with limited resources, budgeting makes it easier to make ends meet. Thirdly, it makes you aware of what is going on with your money. With budgeting, you are clear on what money is coming in, how fast it goes out, and where it is going to. Budgeting saves you from wondering at the end of the month, where did my money go to? A budget enables you to know that you can afford, take advantage of buying and investing opportunities. And I think that's very important. But if you really have to look at it, it's a disciplined and a very structured approach. Fourthly, it helps you to organize your spending and savings. By dividing your money into categories of expenditures and savings, a budget makes you aware of which category of expenditure takes which portion of your money. That way it is easy for you to make adjustments. Budget also serves as a reference for organizing your bills, your receipts, your financial statements. When all of your financial transactions are organized for tax time or creditor questions, you save time and effort. And in today's fast world, it's all about convenience. And lastly, it gives you an opportunity and plan on how to lower debt. As I've said earlier, debt can be a very, very huge disadvantage in financial fitness. It also tells you what is important to you based on how you allocate your funds, how money is working for you, and how you are towards reaching, and how do you reach towards your financial goals. So I think if I have to summarize this, I would say that the positives of budgeting plays a very important role in the financial fitness of every person. And if we can, together as a nation, have a disciplined savings culture and use budgeting as a tool and as a plan, we would make some great strides in our country.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parak, and thank you to all the other panelists for sharing the importance of savings and budgeting in our life. And as the world hurtles along into the financial challenges with the coronavirus, we would need to plan carefully on all our finances. My parting words are, let's save the day, stay safe, and goodbye.